All right, welcome everybody to the Untapped podcast. I'm your host, Jeremy Neal, and today we have Sandrella, who is an educator, and we have Noir, who is in California and has done stand-up and not comedy, but acting in the
I
past.
was just
So
about
I'm
to say,
gonna
what?
You at the jobs and whatnot?
look, rough
I
start
love it.
already.
Roast down at
Rough
the work
start.
Okay.
Rough start already, ladies and gentlemen. But I'm going to go ahead and get started with background intros. Sandrella, you have the floor.
Hello everyone. First, thank you, Jeremy, for having a platform where we can talk about these topics in a safe space. That is probably the most important part of this whole conversation. And he's basically said my name. I teach English and ESL along with journalism, creative writing, reading. I have taught any variation of English you could think of for the past 10 years. No, actually today it may I've taught for 14 years today. Actually, I've taught for 14 years. I am also an author. I've written 2 books. I've also been an editor. I'm content development manager for a publishing company. I am currently the executive director of Young DFW Writers in the Dallas Fort Worth area. I also, what else have I done? There's a lot. Oh, goodness gracious. I am also co-owner of T&J Media, which is a media and merchandising company for small businesses and startups. And I think that's it. Oh, yeah, I forgot. I'm a wife first. And I am a extremely proud member of a group of friends who are really awesome from college. And also, I tend to be a poodle every once in a while as a member of Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated. So, yeah, that's pretty much me.
You going to give us your call?
Really?
I was just asking.
Try. No, I do not. No, I am not Fantasia. I do not have a high pitched voice. I'm not playing myself like that today.
All right, Noir, go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody in the community.
How could I go after all of that? She
Don't do that.
Just the whole thing, but no. No, my name is Noir L. King. I am from Shreveport, Louisiana. And just like these two, I went to Northwestern State University. And from there, I got into the entertainment business back in 2008. And I have been on and off just working in the entertainment field since then. If you know anything about entertainment, it's not steady. So it's always been a line of side jobs and side hustles until I get to where I'm going. That includes stunt acting and just background work or anything like that I can get myself involved in. Anything as far as like working in theater and stuff like that I've done since I've been out here in LA. I've been out here in LA since 2011, and I've been pretty much working since then. And now it's 2024. And I'm kind of like ending off my journey here. And so, yeah, it's just me still working in the entertainment industry wherever I feel that I fit. And I'm not going to sit up and give like a bunch of, because I don't have like a bunch of accolades like these. I mean, I'm proud military and all those things like that, but I ain't nothing like these two over here. So I'm going to let them have all of that. I'm just a simple creator that's an artist and just like to, live my life. So I do my thing and that's that. I ain't going to be like them. Notice how they came out with all that. I'm just going to give you that minor stuff, okay? That's it. That's all.
Well, we thank you for that, and we thank y'all both for joining the show. We're going to start talking about the attacks on women of color. And The first attack we're going to talk about is a discriminatory attack. Brianna O'Connor, I think all of you probably know that are probably out there watching. She was the coach at Opelousas High School. This incident happened in January of 2023, where she was let go because she was told that coaching wasn't a fashion show. She is now the head coach at Scotlandville High School in Louisiana. She is a former Lady Demon. She was at Northwestern State University. Just ended up transitioning to Augusta University in Augusta, Georgia. And now she has an opportunity now with Scotlandville. But the problem is that why was coaching not a fashion show? So Noir, I'm gonna go ahead and let you get started with that. Hopefully Sandy will be able to rejoin us.
Okay, so I read the article and everything that you said, and because I actually wasn't aware of this entire situation, and that's mainly because we don't get like a lot of news, especially local news like that out here in Cali. So a lot of those things I was unaware of. Um, when I first looked at a lot of the pictures, I didn't see a problem with the attire because I thought, oh, okay. And for in my mind, you don't really see a lot of coaches, especially female coaches, that dress up like the way that she did. However, the only thing that I would disagree on is the short mini skirts. I just that's just my take on that. Like everything else, I saw nothing wrong with because actually I didn't think that she was trying to have a whole fashion show. But then again, I got to realize I grew up around black men and black women and just how we dress. So I didn't think anything wrong of it. The only part I disagreed on was the shot that I saw when she had on the short kind of mini skirt. And I said, okay, now to me, at a high school function, especially, that's inappropriate. That's just in my mind. Everything else, though, I saw nothing wrong with. I mean, granted, they probably weren't the customary black and gray suits that we see coaches in, that we normally see them in courtside. But to me, I didn't have a problem with it because it still seemed a little business casual. So I didn't have an issue with it. If that makes sense. But yeah, again, like I stated before, the only thing I disagreed with was the mini skirt. That's it.
All right, Sandy, thank you for rejoining. Go ahead and give your take on the Brianna O'Connor situation.
So, as a product of South Louisiana, I am not surprised. I will be completely honest with you guys. There has always been some type of stigma or some type of concern when you have someone who chooses to be okay with being intelligent, with choosing to have sense, when choosing to actually input greatness into this world. And so it that part didn't surprise me. I was just shocked at the fact that they felt comfortable with saying that it had something to do with her clothing. Because I can understand if it was another reason, if she was a bad teacher, if she was not doing her job effectively, then okay, that makes complete and total sense. But you're letting clothing be the issue in the reason why you're choosing to not go forward with her being a part of your school. You're choosing clothing over everything else. And especially considering the fact that you have a school that is majority African American, because it is actually about 79 to 85% African American. You have a high percentage of like 48% of females that are going there. So you're telling me that it's okay for us to let somebody go because they choose to have pride in who they are and how they dress and how they present themselves. That doesn't make sense to me as a woman. And as a teacher, my bigger problem is that we already have a teacher shortage as it is. Why are we doing stupid stuff like this? Like there could be, I can understand if she did something that was derogatory, that was sexual, if she did something to a student that they shouldn't have. Okay, that's one thing. But literally, she's not wearing what you guys feel like is appropriate. And even bigger, an even bigger thing is that when I went and looked up St. Landry School Board and a lot of the people who are at Opelousas Senior High in leadership positions, some of these people are African American. Like your superintendent is African American. Most of your people on your board, they are African American. Your school board president currently right now is an African American woman. So how is it that you guys, consider, and I'm going to assume, and I could be wrong, that most of these people are probably older than her, that they probably have more experience in some way. We couldn't have a conversation with her about how she looks before we make that decision.
Yeah, that's something I agree with that part too. Why was there not
have a
prior discussion? Yeah.
We have a generation that constantly says, well, all this generation does is thinks about itself. All they do is worry about themselves. Well, I mean, what do you think is a part of the reason why we do that? Part of that comes from the fact that if we didn't fend for ourselves, who else would? You want to teach this idea of community and being together and making sure that we are moving in a forward direction, but you are going to choose to let this woman go because she chose to dress the way she wanted to in a way that the people on her team could look up to, the people who are working with her as managers for the basketball team and for the athletic program in general, which, by the way, just won a football championship. So it's amazing how you have all of these people in these positions. I don't know if that's the full reason why, but that reason in itself, completely unnecessary and contrite and very, in my opinion, I think is stupid. I legitimately think there could have been a better reason for that. And I'm very grateful that she has the ability to go to Scotlandville, which is near Baton Rouge. So you have a space that is probably going to be more open and understanding about who she is as a person. But there are a lot of other things that school specifically needs to do, especially considering the fact that they're one of the lowest performing schools academically in that parish. You could be worrying about your test scores that are not very high. You could be worrying about the fact that most of your people are on free and reduced lunch. You could be worrying about all these other things, but instead you fire her for that.
You got better things
there
to
are
worry
plenty
about,
of other issues you have.
Right.
A 28-year-old woman of color that you let go because you saw the way that she was dressing and it's a problem for you. My issue is simple. We have a coach that is a trailblazer in the state of Louisiana right now. She's at LSU, Kim Mulkey. Look at how she dresses. But we also have pioneers like the Jody Conrads. We have the C. Vivian Stringers of the world that when you saw them on the sidelines, they're in very nice professional attire. So my next question, the follow-up question is, what about the professional attire in which you are setting these women up or these young ladies up for success? Because we all know we don't want to see these young ladies on OnlyFans. We want to see them in a professional light. So that's my follow-up question. What do you feel that the precedence that's being set here because this move that was made? Either one of you can take the floor.
I think what they are attempting to do is to quell the idea of identity. I think that's what it is. This idea that you can be yourself, whatever that may be, and that may be different from what is expected of you in Opelousas or in St. Landry. I think that's what the idea is. And to be able to have this idea that you can be a professional without you having to be a rapper, without you having to create the OnlyFans and have one, without you having to be TikTok famous. You can still be beautiful without having to do those things. I think that's the concern. But you also have to remember that the state of Louisiana in general, while they pretend like education is something that's super important, most of the things that they've created in Louisiana have been to foster into its own business that it wants, into the oil business, into doing all those different things. And most of the time, you don't need a college degree in order for you to be able to do that. So that's part of the reason why people migrate from Louisiana in order for them to be able to do something better. If I remember correctly, you're in California, I'm in Texas.
Because I left as soon as I could.
I literally left about 14 years ago in order for me to be able to be better here. And that's it. That sounds bad, but I mean, you get mad at Texas all you want, but they got the opportunities in Louisiana doesn't. And if I remember correctly, didn't she go to college? Like, she went to college at Northwestern State for like a year, and then she transferred to another school. Am I correct?
She went to a junior college after she left NSU after her freshman year. She went to Indian State River College, I believe, for her sophomore year, and then she went to Augusta University for her junior and senior years, where she averaged double digits in scoring. So she had a very decent career on the Division II level, and that, of course, puts you in a state of mind that, okay, we have a future coach here. She has a path moving forward. Let's focus on her coaching. Let's focus on her integrity. Let's focus on her appearance as she's coming out. But no, we're not going to focus on that. You're going to say, well, because she got this nice dress on, or because she has this nice pantsuit on, it's a little bit too much. It's a little bit too glamorous. So we got to go and sit her down. So that's almost like you're telling her to shut up and dribble. That doesn't work.
That's a good point.
That's the part that concerns me, is that you are not going to allow her to showcase herself, not just physically, but not just mentally, but physically. Because we always want to talk about how, it's about the person inside and how they count. If I remember correctly, if she had an 18-4 record.
18-4 record at Opelousas, yes.
Camaraderie or collaboration with her team in order for them to be able to be that successful. So now we're taking that away in order for us to be able to say we have a problem with how she looks. And as a person who I work with coaches, I work with African-American women coaches that are successful. I've talked to them like sometimes about this, and especially one of my friends, her name is Tiffany Cherry. She's a coach at the school that I work at. And for her, she was just amazed at how this is the reason why we're doing this. So we can't be glamorous. We have to constantly look like we are working out every day and that we have nothing else to do with our lives except what our job is, which is teaching. And that is scary to me, because now you're saying that a teacher is one-dimensional, but you want us to create multi-dimensional kids. We can't do that if we can't do both. We have to be able to be both. She wanted to be able to be both, not just for herself, but for those kids that were in Opelousas. And as a person who lived 45 minutes away from it, I can tell you, ain't much out there. Just being honest. Besides the Tony Chachere's factory, I will tell you that is out there, and Mr. Gaddy's. That's two things that are out there that are actually super. Oh, state police. I forgot about the state police. My fault. But those are the big things that are in Opelousas. And I'm not saying that Opelousas isn't a great city. That's not what I'm saying at all. But what I am saying is that you have to remember that area of Louisiana is still dealing with the fact of slavery, still dealing with all the things that have happened, still dealing with racism on top of all of this. And you also have to remember that because they don't have as many opportunities, it's almost every man for themselves. When it comes to certain things. So I think it's important for us to understand that doing that is an attempt to quell identity. And you're trying to shift it into whatever it is you want it to be. And the problem with that is you didn't hire her for that. You hired her because she was different. You hired her because she was successful. You hired her because of her resume and what she did. So what you fired her for does not align with the reason that you hired her. That's why people have a problem with it. It's not just about the clothes. It's the fact that you're contradicting yourself. That's where the issue is. You are now saying that instead of her being herself, and I'm pretty sure before she even was hired, she dressed like this. This is who she was, no matter what. And I know that as a member of a D9, one of the things that all of us are instilled with, it don't matter which sorority you talk to, there is a sense of pride that we have. And we have to have that because that's a part of who we are and who our founders were. And she, as a member of Zeta Phi Beta, I am almost certain, if not positively certain, that she is proud of those women and what they did at Howard University in order for them to be able to persevere this far in the game, over 100 years. So you can't shut that down. You can't.
No, you can't.
You can't stop her from being able to be who she is and be that the way she wants to be. Yes. And as long as she is not breaking any rules, as long as she is not putting anybody in a position to be able to be hypocritical or to lie or anything like that, there is nothing wrong with allowing this woman to be who she is for these students.
And to kind of close out on that, a coach that I want to mention that's in the state of Texas, Joni Taylor. She is the head coach at Texas A&M University. She was previously at the University of Georgia. She did something that was so trendsetting that, that could have inspired Brianna. Joni has been one that she has D9 days as a coach, and she's on the sideline in her 1913 and proud of it. She does not shy away from it, but she also did the same thing for her assistant coaches. She had an assistant coach that was an AKA. She had a assistant coach that is a member of Kappa Alpha Psi. So I'm looking at Brianna and I'm just like, wow, I see Johnny Taylor. I'm like, here we are. And this is the example. And that's trend setting, that you can see that someone is attempting to show, because a lot of people always say, well, what are you wearing across your chest? Or what's this mean? Or what's this? Or what's that? This right there, this is propelling us into another, let's say, different type of conversation to where, okay, now you know who the organization is.
Right. Now, it's about exposure.
Correct.
And it's about exposure and being exposed to those things before you get out of high school. Because a lot of us, I'm not saying everybody, but a lot of us, we didn't find out about the possibilities of moving to another state, getting a job in another state, being a part of an organization, leadership, character. A lot of us didn't find out about that in our towns in South Louisiana because nobody cared about that. Everybody was trying to live day to day and trying to make their money in order for them to be able to survive. So thinking about, being Greek, or thinking about even moving to Atlanta, Georgia, to be a part of a college and do double digits and win player of the week multiple times, that was not something that she probably knew was possible. But her doing that now and being a part of that culture at that school, she can inspire a student in order for them to be able to realize that. Just like A Different World inspired many of us to go to HBCU, even though I didn't, I'm working on it. Even though it inspired some people, a lot of Black people, to go to HBCU, she can do the same thing that she is doing with kids being at Opelousas Senior High School. Yes. And that's crazy to me that they did not see that was possible. And
I disagree.
Okay.
Because you're saying they didn't see it was possible. They saw it was very possible, and I'm gonna tell you why. A lot of the times, and things that I've learned, especially from the great state of Louisiana, some things I've learned that whenever you start to make a name for yourself, or you start to kind of just showcase who you are naturally, like you said, the main reason why they hired you, because there's something that's in you that they've hired you for, whether it just be that works for the company, but they saw there's something that they could possibly exploit. But when it becomes the problem comes in when you start showing that you low-key are a brand yourself. A big huge issue is, yes, they want you for the part to where they can use it, but when you realize that you can utilize that for yourself to build something, and even though she wasn't even trying to outshine the company, it's the fact of the matter is, when you start to be something of an item yourself, they start to get jealous of it because they can't capitalize off of it. And the thing is too, again, like I said earlier when Sandy was gone, I wasn't mad at what she was wearing, because I was like, oh, those are some creative outfits. You don't really see coaches wearing just anything outside of that. But my thing is, once you start getting too much attention and the people start talking about you more so than the team, then it becomes an issue with the company, because they feel, oh, you're doing this to steal our whatever from this and trying to go build your own. And that's the first thing they go to, instead of thinking we could all work on this together. Yes, I could still simultaneously work on myself as a brand while still uplifting this brand. We can do two things at once. I can walk and chew gum. Go figure. So my thing is, when we come to points like this, and I start to think about like things like the Crown Act, where we had to get a whole ass law passed just to be able for people to wear their natural hair. Now that you can't attack people on that anymore, now what's next? Oh, I'm gonna talk about how you dress and how it's not within our standard now, because now since we can't get you on the hair anymore, now we got to look at something else and try to figure out how else we're gonna get you. Because we can't say that you're not smart enough, we hired you. We can't say that you're not talented enough, we hired you because you can train other athletes and get them, honed in on that skill. We can't say that. What else do we have to attack? What you wearing? So to me, it becomes a bigger issue on they kind of micromanage things like that just so they can have some type of form of control and feel like no matter how far you think that you may are, we still got you here. And that's what they want to keep you at one level at all times in any part of your career. And I have a really big issue with that. So that's why I disagree with you just on that part, only because it became evident to me that has to be the only thing, because they didn't bring up anything else about her training, her coaching, or anything like that. So, what else is it? So we'll go on so we can move on. But I just want to throw that in there.
No, that's right. All right. That's right. Thank you for the perspective.
Yeah.
Well, yes, that outstanding dialogue. So we're going to transition into the systemic attack. Taraji P. Henson. We have seen quite a bit out in the news about how she has talked about the math is not mathing, the lack of pay in Hollywood. And I'm not going to even waste much time here. Noir, I'm going to give you the full floor.
Because you already
because you are there, but even as you start talking about this experience, you have an experience of your own that parallels with what you and I went through. So go ahead and spill your piece.
Yeah. Okay. So to start from the beginning, we're not having to go too deep into it. Back in 2008, like when my journey was first started, I was still at NSU, and I would think I was working on my summer, like going into summer, and they started having a lot of jobs in Louisiana. And that's when I first got approached. Well, no, my girlfriend at the time brought it to me. Hey, there's something in production going on in Shreveport. I think you should go. You probably be a good fit for it. I can't go, but you should. Okay, great. So I go, end up getting a call back. And I think me and him went back a few times. And
four times.
Okay, several times. We went, and the problem became this early on when I really started learning the industry of it's about who you know and not what you know, what you're capable of. And it's a really big thing on why the industry is ran the way it is now, because the whole referral system doesn't always work best in its favor. And I got overlooked a couple of times only to be called back later on because the people that they chose based off who they knew wasn't doing the job correctly, or they either weren't showing up, or they just I started building a name for myself to where I was showing up on time because I had just gotten out of the military. So I was always a be early or you're late type of guy. And they just got so used to that. They was like, call him. And it just shows me, it just went to me to just put in my mind, why do y'all not make the right decisions the first time? It's something about the industry to where they build a system. It's almost a functioning, dysfunction, chaotic system that they have set up.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, it's like this whole thing where it's a disorganized chaos, but then they want you to be on par, but their system isn't on par. And when it comes down to the pay and everything like that, even down to the pay, I was asking questions because they actually had me doing two jobs at once. And I'm going to refer back. This goes back to the great debaters on. Initially, they had hired another guy to be the stand-in for Forrest Whitaker and Denzel. That didn't work out, so they gave me the one for Forrest Whitaker, but then the guy that was supposed to be doing it for Denzel didn't show up, so I ended up doing two guys not two, that sounds weird. I ended up standing in for two guys at once. It was double work, so I had to, and this is all me doing this while in college and everything like that, and I was like, so what's the pay like? Because, you have to be fully aware of, and this is me not really knowing the industry fully well, but I have some experience from the military in contractual negotiations. So I didn't go in stupid on not being able to negotiate my contract. Right. I was like, hey, I should be getting paid. I'm being paid two things at once. I need to be paid for my time and travel. I drive here 45 minutes from Natchitoches all the way here every day. I need to be compensated for this stuff. So if you are unaware of asking for those things, you won't get paid for it. And now we come to the topic of Taraji, where she's bringing it up, but we had this entire discussion way before even Monique said it. However, on a bigger scale, when Monique brought it up, people ignored it because people were content on getting the little paychecks that they were getting. Now here we are in 2023 when they're actually probably starting to feel it way more because now studios are buckling down on not trying to pay actors what they deserve to be paid, or writers or producers or anybody else behind the scenes, because they've been so used to screwing people over. So then came the strike from the summer when it was the introduction of maybe them introducing AI into it, because they're trying to not pay us, saying basically let us use your image and you won't get paid for that image. Why in the hell would I allow you to just sign over my image to you? You're going to have me in the background tra-la-line and doing other shit that you got me doing, and you're not even going to allow me to be paid from the image. Even though I'm not there, it's still my face. So you're at least still supposed to be paying me something, but in their terms, they're thinking, oh, no, you're just be signing this over. We're doing you a favor. Be happy that you're in the background. Hell no. Anytime my face can pop across the screen, I need to be paid. Ain't none of this on... just be happy with it, and that's how they set you up. It's the whole, just be happy that you worked with such and such. Keep that in your memories. Memories ain't paying no gas bill in DWP. It's not. It's not paying the gas. Gas high as hell. Food is high as hell. I just went and got some groceries. It was vegetables and some rice. It cost me $40 for a few veggies and some rice. You want me to be happy with just me going in the background? Apparently my AI getting paid, but I'm not getting paid. So
$40 for just that alone?
California.
I can tell you, I got because I made a baked potato, so baked potato, cheese, sour cream, some like a few other veggies. I think I had some rice because the rest of the stuff I had at the house. And when they rung it up, I said, look, I had to hit him with with the guy on Baby Boy, $40. I had to hit him up with that. Cause like, what you mean $40? I had to look. You know, I mean, the math is mathing, but it ain't mathing in my head. You know what I'm saying? But back to Taraji though, it's not that I don't feel bad for her. It's just that I wish that when we say stuff the first time, and when we speak up the first time and saying, look, there's a system in place that's actively saying we don't want to pay you how we would pay anybody else. Just be happy. We should take that for face value the first time. It shouldn't take other people being affected and you losing out on deals and you becoming to a point now to you having to take side gigs for us to fully understand the ramifications of you not standing with us the first time. So again, I'm going to stand with her because that's a sister, whatever like that. Of course, we should all be paid fairly as people of color, mainly Black people, but don't let it get to this point. Like Monique was always right in that. And for those of us who are on the way lower level, and I'm not saying that she's better than me, but you know, she's a better actor. She has a whole Oscar, so of course she's better in that sense. But on the pay scale, the little people have always said, this isn't fair. Like you're working us 8, 12-hour days, you're barely feeding us. You're not really giving us what we feel we should deserve. I mean, we could go work at McDonald's now for $16.75 an hour and probably make more than what you're getting paid background work. That's just real shit. Wow. You know what I'm saying? Because I know the McDonald's at my corner charges like $16.75. That's for an entry level position. Where if you go on the background thing, they pay you a flat rate of like maybe like $80 to like $100 and some for like 8 hours. Whereas you can work 8 hours at McDonald's and probably earn that and probably more. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's just an unfair system. Look, I'm trying not to ramble too much, but just to give you a breaking into the ice of like that, because it's way deeper than that. And we really should be standing because honestly, if a lot of actors and actresses and production crews and anybody else that participates in that system really stood firm and say, we're not doing no work until y'all fix the system, I guarantee you they would have to do it. But unfortunately, we get to this point where if one actor won't do it, another one will, because that's just somebody trying to get their foot in the water, and they not really seeing it as I should be standing with the people that's already at the top doing it. But of course, we go be looking like, well, I'm just trying to get my name in, and I'll worry about it later on. The later on is now, and now we have a Taraji saying, I should have did this or I should have did that, shoulda, coulda, woulda. Now we're here. So
tell me what you think about this. We've talked about Taraji, but what about the support system? And that's the part that I really want to hit on. And I think that's where we really need to get where we need to get and start making some inroads. The support system that I mean is that we should have certain actors should be talking, but they're not talking and they're remaining silent, or certain actresses are remaining silent on the issue instead of speaking up, because the issue is really just, it's happening to you too, but you choose to just sit there and just take it and act as if, well, I don't care. As long as I'm getting something, that's okay. That's better than nothing. I think that's a part of the problem as far as the system. What do you think about that?
It's because the fear of being blackballed. Just plain and simple. I'm pretty sure, like, and I hate to throw names out there, I'm pretty sure like a Denzel Walker, Denzel Washington, Forrest Whitaker, I'm thinking the names in my head. I'm pretty sure like Viola Davis has even spoken up before.
Yes, she
previously, but people really weren't paying attention to her back then. But now videos have resurfaced. Some people have said it, but I think once you get to a certain level, it almost becomes a fear of you talking too much, because once roles start getting cut and you start being blackballed and people start actively working behind the scenes to stop your bag, I've always said this, and I said this before on another podcast, one of the biggest traps that Hollywood has been brilliant in setting up people with is presenting the life of luxury. They present the life of luxury and saying, if you're a millionaire or a billionaire, you could live like this. The get you gotcha is once you start living like this, you got to keep working to stay living like that. So then
I like
they have
that.
you by the
Gotcha. I like that. Get you gotcha.
Then
I
they
like
basically have you by the balls because what you go do? Who you go? You're not gonna talk against the people that's paying you 50 million or 30 million per project. That's basically funding your lifestyle. You would dare not speak against those people because in an instant, especially if you damn near living paycheck to paycheck, because you got so many people to pay, it becomes a bigger risk of you speaking out because then what happens to your career after that? Because look how long it took Monique to bounce back, even when she spoke up against just those 3 people. And those were 3 black people in Hollywood. So imagine black people speaking against the bigger, greater powers that be that have control basically on them even coming in the gate. That becomes a bigger thing and that becomes a bigger fear because if you start getting cut off, that means you are not living that cushy lifestyle anymore. Now you're at a threat of losing all these millions. Now you taking care of mama, daddy, you taking care of family members that be asking you for money. It's a lot that be weighing on you when you probably at that level. So I think that to me is a bigger problem. And like Taraji was crying, she crying because she got people to pay. She got to pay everybody else before she even pay herself. Remember, she said Uncle Sam takes half already off top of that. Plus the 30% that goes to your agents and all your other people. God forbid somebody, cousins and them always popping out to me, can I hold some? Now you gotta loan somebody else some money. So it's like this stressful thing of cycling money all the way down before you even get a chance to enjoy it. It becomes a fear, and then there goes like now you gotta bite your tongue. Now you can't say something because you in fear of losing your own quality of life. Because even though you would be speaking up for the right thing, it becomes a bigger thing of it's me or them. A lot of people choose me versus choosing I'd rather stand with them and just take what comes with it after that. It's a big problem.
So the fear factor is really where the issue is that you're in fear, you're afraid that you'll lose your career.
Yeah.
You don't feel that you could feed your family. And I think that parallels with the music industry. We're looking at actors and actresses, but we also are looking at the music industry. They talk and speak about the same things about how production companies are vultures. They take all of what you have worked hard for. You have built the material, made the album, and then you're looking for your dollars on the back end and it's not there. So I understand that math is not math and we got to do something to change the system. I feel that we do have the right people that are speaking up, but we need more to start talking. And until that happens, we're going to continue to stay in this cycle to where we're going to have Miss Monique, and Miss Monique deserves an apology. She was slammed during that time frame to where no one was really wanting to talk to her, deal with her, anything. But now, because she spoke up, we have now a actress that is outstanding at her work and what she does on a day in, day out basis. And she is in tears and she's in front of people that look like her. And we really can get really deep into this as far as people that look like her and the body language that she displayed in front of this specific person. So I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to move into our next topic, which is the physical attack.
Yes.
Miss Jemiah Miller,
Okay.
Amazon driver out of Houston, Texas. She is delivering a package at the River Oaks subdivision. Of course, at the concierge, the River Oaks subdivision has now come out and said that all packages are supposed to be left at the concierge. Well, on the package, it says delivered to the suite. She ended up getting access. She attempted to deliver to the suite. She was then stopped, approached, and then basically physically attacked as she's trying to walk and deliver the package. The package is thrown out of her hand. She is hit up against with a phone. She is told by others that I'm going to call the police on you. But what did she do wrong in this situation, which I see is nothing? The police reports, just to kind of give a follow-up, she did provide a follow-up in reference to this, where she spoke about, well, I did a report and the police were more interested in, am I an Amazon employee? What was my badge number? But not about the incident. So, Sandrella, I'm going to give you the floor. Go ahead and speak about it.
Oh, Amiel, I'm sorry. Why you would take this one first?
It's the way that she lowered her head before she said it. They already knew.
Before.
No, because no, I just no. Nope, no. I'm not ready. Not. I'm gonna get there. But nope, not ready.
Not ready.
Well, you got it, Amiel. Go ahead.
Okay. When I first saw the video, I was like, okay, and that it kind of just already started off in distress when the video first started, and the woman was blocking her. I don't know why they get so comfortable blocking you and putting their body all on you and stuff like that. But I remember her going down the hallway and you can kind of see part of her Amazon uniform, and I was kind of confused as to why the person was blocking. But as the video went along, I understood it was another one of those videos that we had saw way too frequently in 2022 and 2023 of people kind of gatekeeping these buildings. But but the thing that threw me off, she kept saying, we've had a problem with people breaking in and stealing packages. But ma'am, she's walking in the building with a package to deliver the package. So you really, in my opinion, it's like, what are you doing? Like, you don't have a right to be blocking somebody from delivering a package. I can understand if maybe you saw somebody, pick up a package from the stoop and take it off. But it's like, I was confused on that. But then when she started hitting back and pushing back, that's when I probably would have lost it. And I feel like I always say this, God know who to put that on, because I just know I probably would have been in jail. Because you can say whatever you want to me. I'm one of them people, you can literally drag me, talk about anything you want to. Just don't put your hands on me. Because the second you put your hands on me is when I really have to make the firm decision. Do I want to go to jail today? Because I know once I hit you the first time, it's not going to be just one pop. It's going to be a few. So it's going to be several hundred. It's not, not seven, several hundred, because I'm not going to stop until I just see you crying and see you on the ground. So then now you put me in a position to where now you are the actual victim, which is what some of them usually want whenever they have these little spats all in your face telling you what you should and shouldn't be doing in their building that they don't own. Now, all of a sudden, I'm in a predicament of looking like the aggressor. So she did right in the sense of making sure it was recorded, which is one of the best things that we could possibly have in 2024 moving forward is a camera phone. Because had we not have cameras in place now, a lot of these incidents that we hear about, we probably wouldn't believe if it wasn't for a camera. So it's just really sad that it's taken us going to these lengths to just say, look, I was literally just doing my job and somebody is looking at me basically saying, you don't look like you belong here. It's another one of those type of cases. It goes way deeper than just her being an Amazon driver. It goes to the fact of this neighborhood is outpriced for you. What are you doing over here? And specifically, what are you doing inside my building? Because I know the income level for this building is such and such, so you really shouldn't be over here, even though you don't know my income level and I may be making more than you. But see, that's the big issue here in America. We judge people based off of what we think poor looks like or what we think the rich should look like, when actually me living in LA, I've really learned a lot about what poor and what rich actually is, because I've seen rich people dressed just like me, just like an average guy, and you wouldn't think that it was a rich person. And I've seen some rich people that are actually poor as hell spending their last on some Givenchy, some Chanel, some Louis V, some Gucci, just because they want to look the part of Hollywood, but I don't have the Hollywood money. So with that being said, me being in the frame of mind I am now, when I look at videos like that, if she would have hauled off and hit that woman, I probably, in fact, not even probably, I wouldn't have been mad at her. I would have said, why did you not leave that lady alone? It would have just been that plain and simple. Leave people alone. You could have at least just recorded just to make sure she was doing her job. And once you saw, you could have said, you know what, my bad, because I thought, we had issues in the building. It's me being wrong. It's me being cautious. It could have been a completely different situation, but she took it too far by going up against her saying, you're attacking me. I almost cussed. You don't even know. You don't even know an attack until you get an attack from me. Trust me, you ain't been attacked. That hip would have been popped. That shoulder would have been locked, and you would have been on the ground had it been me. But I'm gonna let y'all have it. But I'm just saying, that's just me.
Oh, but I think about the mental attack. I think that's what I'm thinking about. That's what was making me process. That's what took me so long to process, because I'm like, this isn't just about a physical attack. This is about, there is something mentally going on with this woman to where she felt the need that she needed to be that courageous, where she felt the need that she needed to be able to do that. So that she could say maybe she's doing her part in order to be able to do whatever. I still think that's BS. Let me be clear. I still think it's BS. No, don't make me, don't. I still think that is BS. But the fact of the matter is that you did this to a woman that is already a part of a group of people who have already been ostracized. We have been wasted. We have been in this position where we have been disrespected, looked at differently, looked at lower than everybody else. And you got the nerve and the audacity to think that just because of your skin color and the amount of money that you make, that you have the ability and power to be able to do something like that and nothing's going to happen. And one thing I'm noticing, which is a pattern I'm noticing, is that we never really understand what's going on with the white woman whenever things like this happen.
Well, you know what? Can I interject just for a quick second, just based off something you said? Because what I don't like, and it's not something that you said specifically, but what I don't like that I remember seeing in the comments is they're always giving the mental card defense.
Right.
Yeah, and it triggered me when you just said that not so long ago. That's why I was like, let me get this out real quick before I forget.
Right.
The whole thing of, we don't know what she's going through. We don't know if she's having such a... Fuck all that. Like, sometimes you just got to call stuff for what it is. Sometimes things are very prejudiced, very racist, very you don't deserve to be here type mentality. And who's to say that whoever was breaking in the building was actually a black person? Like, do you have video showing that it was a black person that's been breaking in your building? Because I'm going to be real with you. Out here in LA, a lot of white people steal, a lot of Mexicans steal, a lot of Armenians steal, a lot of everybody steal. So to my thing, like, you can't sit up and just say, well, she's the problem. You don't know who's been breaking in your building. And you don't know if it's a black female breaking in your building. But and I get it, again, just follow around with your camera just to make sure everything's legit and leave it where it's at. But I don't like the whole mental card defense. It bothers me. It really bothers me.
And that's what bothers me too.
But go ahead, Sandy. I didn't mean to interrupt.
It's an excuse is what it is. That's what it is.
You take, and the thing is, that's why people take mental health as a joke, because people are constantly using that as a reason for us to get out of things. And the problem with that is that we have people who are legit schizophrenics. We have people who are legit crazy. We have people who legit have a reason for this happening. So I'm sorry, like this person said, racism is not a mental illness. It's not a mental illness. It is a problem. It is a systemic problem that person needs to deal with in their own way. I don't know what way it's going to be the way it works for her. I can't answer that. I can't tell you that, she needs to go to counseling. She needs to do whatever. I don't know what it is, but whatever it is, you should not think of being racist as an excuse, or being protective, or being concerned about another race and what they're doing as an excuse as to why you react the way you do. I think that's where my issue with this is that what was supposed to be simply a delivery became something physical. And I am already, as Jemiah, I am a black woman. I already know what it means to not receive something because of something else happening. And then I have to be blamed for what happened. I already have seen women who have tried their best to be able to do things. We're still dealing with the fact that black women are dying whenever they're pregnant because people don't know how to handle their births. So that's the part that's killing me, is the fact that we have these things going on with black women, and you thought it was okay to be able to do this to somebody that was simply delivering a package.
Right.
That's I think that's where my issue is. Do not play the mental health card with this woman. This woman legit has a problem that she needs to deal with in her own way, with her own family, if she has that, or whatever it is that she needs to do. Do not, and now you have this young black woman who now is going to be triggered and has to deal with the mental health issues that come from what she went through.
Right.
Because even Jemiah's created a video talking about, now I can't sleep at night. I'm not able to do a lot of things I normally would do because of what happened in this one incident. You don't realize how much what you do can impact somebody else.
Trauma.
You just think
mental trauma.
It's mental trauma. You literally don't realize how your actions, and this is just for anybody, how your actions can legitimately trigger somebody else and cause them issues in their life that they didn't have before.
Yes.
And that may be because you didn't have that type of experience. You didn't have to go through those types of trauma and those types of problems. So it's not a thing to you, but you have to learn how to have the empathy to understand that just because it's not something you went through doesn't mean that you shouldn't treat people with respect and kindness regardless. That's
But it goes back to dignity. Where's the dignity? Because in all of this is all what is called an assumption, and we know what assumptions make people. We know what that is. So what about your dignity? You're seeing someone and you're walking along with them. What I would do if I was in that situation, if I was unsure of this person, I'll walk along with them, make sure that they're going to deliver the package, make sure they get on the elevator, say, hey, have a nice day, and keep on moving. But in this situation, you chose to go and deflect and go into a completely different way about it. And you chose violence because you attacked this young woman. And now this young woman has to deal with this. But I'll tell you what's really sickening about this. It's the aftermath. The aftermath in which the cops are asking her certain questions. That's where I have the issue. The physical attack happened. She filed the report. But instead of you focusing on the physical attack, you're focused on, is she really an Amazon employee? Does she really, what about her badge? Can we validate that? We need to contact Amazon to make sure that she's legit. So what that's telling me is that you're already citing in the opposite direction instead of focusing on the wrong that happened. And that is
looking for holes in her stories already. It's already showing the distrust that they have with her being the actual victim of the person the one that actually called the police, which is supposed to go to for everybody. Why don't y'all just tell the police? Okay, but when we go to the police, they questioning us like we the ones who did it. So
that part.
And this is why people take matters into their own hands. We constantly advise people to do it the right way. Go about it this way, go about it that way. We're advising you to do that. But when these situations continue to pop up time after time after time after time, eventually you're just going to say, forget this. I'm going to let you FAFO. That's what I'm going to let you do. And at that point, you make the decision, okay, let me go ahead, do what I have to do. But we don't want to do that. We don't want to be put into those situations because guess what? How it hurts us in the corporate world. Now we have a record. Now we potentially have a felony. Now we'll never get a job that we want. Now it's okay. Well, now I'm back at square one. What do I do?
I have to go back to being step and fetch it because I can't do anything else. I have to silence my voice because you don't want to hear what I have to say. And you don't want my input. I have to go back to not being my authentic self. It's not what you hired me for.
Bingo.
That's legit not what you hired me for. You hired me because I could provide a service that you need in order for your job to be fulfilled. So if you can't help me to be comfortable, to be able to be myself, then what am I supposed to do?
Bingo. What can you do at that point?
You're supposed to pull yourself up by the bootstraps.
You can't.
It's always constantly shown like how much the goalpost is moved. Because even when you are doing the right thing, I'm going to work. I'm not out here scamming. I'm not out here robbing and shooting and killing.
That part.
I'm out here really doing my thing. All of a sudden now I can't even do my job without you questioning me. It's moving the goalposts yet again. And that goes back to the mental illness. Now that's true mental illness. When you're so psycho that you're so focused on people to where you can't even mind your business, it becomes an issue for me because it creates problems for everybody else. Instead of minding your business, you could just easily went into your unit, call the concierge because, I forgot about this part. She had to go through the concierge to get let up.
To get up.
So you think that this girl didn't show a badge or something to the concierge downstairs? I have completely forgot about that part. How the hell do you think she got up there anyway without the concierge downstairs letting up? That just goes to show you right then. It's that part to me is mental health. I will say that, but I'm not going to give her the benefit of letting her play that card so she can claim insanity when she go to court. Absolutely not.
No, absolutely.
She needs to be held responsible. You make enough money because you stay in this nice little condo building. In fact, give me your condo because when I'm done with you, when I'm done, your condo is now going to be my condo, and now you're in my building. Get the hell out. No. You got to go. You got to go, baby. You don't deserve it. You have mental health issues, like you said in court. You don't deserve to be here, baby. Go. That's why I'm married.
There is a reason why Noir is on this show today. I will say that. So with that, I'm going to give you both an opportunity to promote yourselves. Anything that you're out there doing currently in your careers. Sandy, I'll let you start.
Oh, great, because there's not much I'm doing. I am enjoying the fact that I teach and I run Young DFW Writers, and I am evolving. That's pretty much me right now. And that's funny to say now, because like normally I'm doing 50,000 things. Nope, I'm enjoying life for what it is and enjoying education for what it is. And contrary to popular belief, what people think, there are some educators out there. We love our jobs. We understand and get the we understand that when we came into this knowing that these are different things that may happen. So that's what I'm doing. I'm chilling.
I love it. Love it. Noir, what you got?
Sidebar, I've always known that teachers love their jobs. They just never love to pay. That's always been my understanding.
That's pretty much what
it's the truth.
You know?
It's a truth.
As for me, currently, like you, I'm working on self right now. I think right now is a time for evolution for everybody. I've been in like a weird space to where I've taken a step back a lot from like corporate work and basic 9 to 5 to just really define where I want to be within the workforce as far as that. Of course, entertainment has always been a thing for me and always will be while I'm here. But in the meantime, in between time, it's me just continuously doing my thing, making sure I'm staying balanced physically, spiritually, emotionally, all those different type of things, just to make sure I'm in the right place. So when I am back on another job or another gig, I'm balanced. So that's where I'm at right now. So it's nothing special to report there. It's just, I always do that at the beginning of the year anyway. So sorry that it's not something more exciting. Just know that I'm healthy, I'm here, I'm living. If you want to get in contact with me, you can reach me on IG and Twitter at Noir LeBlunt, NoirLebunt. And that's on both platforms. I'm rarely on there, but if I get a message, it'll pop up and I'll respond accordingly. Also, something I wanted to bring up, she said very timely, I need y'all to address how Eddie Bernice Johnson died. Press conference is on now. The family is suing Baylor. That's something that I'm not up to date on, Jeremy. Maybe
I'm not up to date on it. It is something that I can kind of address in a future podcast. Yeah. I did not know about that, but Ms. Johnson, I'll be sure to address that in a future podcast, and it could be you on the show. So be prepared. Be prepared. When I call your number,
come on. He is super famous for that. Don't be surprised.
Yes, I will call your number and be like, come on, I need you. I need to hear from you. Talk to me. But yes, that is definitely something that I need to research and find out more about. I was not tracking that situation at Baylor.
Yeah, she said the press conference is on now, so this is fresh for us. So that's why I'm not aware.
He just died a couple of days ago.
Yeah,
she just passed away a couple of days ago.
Okay.
I need to track that definitely. But before we end with Sandy providing a poem, I'm going to have a session called Tap Out. And this is just going to be me, in which I'm going to talk about the moving bar. And thank you, Noir, for talking about that moving post, because that's the perfect caveat to what I'm going to talk about. Mm-hmm. As a person of color, or as people of color, one thing, and this is just a situation, and I'm just going to kind of just lay it out for everyone. Mm-hmm. So you're in high school, you're told, hey, go to college, go out and get that degree. You go out, you get your degree, you earn it, you do what you have to do. If you got 1 or 2 degrees, you then transition out. It's the real world now. Now you see what the world is about. You have an internship, you have a degree or 2, maybe 3. Who's to say? You might have gone and stayed in college to get that master's degree. So as you have transitioned, you are now in the corporate America world. The world is telling you that you don't have experience. So now you have to take the entry-level job. That's a small job with small pay. You then have to prove yourself. So you align yourself with the right people. You start talking to people that are working within the company. And some people are going to be the perfect people to connect with. And some people, you're going to realize that they are nothing but an associate, and you need to keep them far, far, far away from you. So make sure that you find those coaches and you find those mentors. Mm-hmm. If you are out there listening and you're under the age of 25, please take heed to that. The next part is that as you're continuing to grow in your career, you take a lateral position, you take some promotions. And you then go back to school and you say you get that master's degree, you get that doctorate degree. And while you're along that line, you're building a family to go along with it. The years are going by, but let me show you how that bar is still moving. So while you're still trying to elevate and move up, someone tells you, hey, I need you to get that certification or that second certification or that third certification. As you go and get that certification, some of those certifications don't work out. Mm-hmm. So as that bar is still moving, you're still looking at, I just spent some money on another degree. I spent some money on another certification that I could have saved up. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, all the while you're still climbing, you're still moving, you're still trying to find your way. And then you finally get to the mountaintop and you open up the door. And as you open up the door, you see the chairs. And everybody has a seat at the table and there's one seat available. And you're getting ready to sit down. Someone pulls out the chair for you and they decide to sit in your seat. Because they then tell you that you're too old. They tell you that your hair color or your hair is not right. They then tell you that, hey, you're wearing a dress, you're wearing a skirt, you're wearing a pantsuit that I don't want to see. You don't talk the way that I want you to talk. Mm-hmm. Or the most vicious way to do it is that you go and tell a lie on this person. Mm-hmm. And we can look no further than recent events. But we can also go back to 1921, where an entire community was burned in Tulsa, Oklahoma. So that's my tap out for today. I'm going to go ahead and transition to Sandy, who is going to provide us with a great closing poem.
I know you're not snapping, bro. Okay. Oh, Lord. And before I end, I do thank you, Jeremy, for being a man and choosing to have this platform and talk about this discussion and make sure we understand that this is going to continually be an ongoing discussion, but at least this is a good start and that makes it easier. The poem I'm performing is called America's Prodigal. I think once you listen to it, you'll understand why it's being performed. I am yours. Incubated in the womb of life and liberty, fed the Bill of Rights, Constitution, and Declaration of Independence, listened to Whitney Houston's version of the national anthem on headphones through your belly. Whenever you pushed, I saw blood, bone, and water carry me into this world. I am yours. March to Grand Old Flag as my first steps. Clothed in stars and stripes. Out of many, one were my first words. I fell asleep listening to the calls of eagles. I am yours. I am. I think. I am what is called a minority, and Webster says that is a smaller number apart. And I go to our schools to learn our history. It does not mention me. I go to our stores for nourishment and vitality. Liquor and cheaply priced fast food are my only options. I try to get a job at our business. My abilities do not suit your qualifications. I am yours. Because I'm sick from trying so hard. But our hospitals cannot heal me. I worship our higher power. Apparently, your people will not accept me. I attempt to buy our property. Apparently, our banks cannot assist me. I try to love one of our own. They do not want me. I am yours. What am I to do in this great plains that shines from sea to shining sea? How am I to see the dawn's early light? Your grace is not shining down on me, your own. I am not free. I'm trapped. I am not brave. I'm scared. America. Am I yours? Okay, now put the glasses back on.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, first, thank you, Sandy, Thank you, Noir, for joining.
Thank you for
I appreciate y'all both for joining this powerful conversation. To our viewers on LinkedIn, to our viewers on YouTube, this is the Untapped podcast, and we'll see you next time.
Later, y'all.